Hey everybody, it's Craig.
And this is Gil at Custom TV and Stereo.
And today we're doing another tech talk for you. And today's topic is going to be about Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Do you need it? Yes, you do.
Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah. So yeah, obviously Wi-Fi is a huge part of everybody's life now. We all live in a connected world and you all need Wi-Fi, but not all Wi-Fi is the same and not all Wi-Fi systems are even adequate for today's lifestyles.
Can I just interject and say, what is Wi-Fi?
Sure. Obviously, I think most people know what Wi-Fi is. It's basically the ability for multiple devices these days to connect to the internet. This is how things are able to communicate to the outside world in terms of operations and retrieving and sharing information.
Right, and the key aspect of that being wireless. So we're not talking about plugging in, we're talking about broadcasting your internet throughout your home or business.
Yeah, and think about it. How many things does an average home have that run on Wi-Fi these days?
Nowadays it can be dozens easily.
Yeah, I mean, and that wasn't always the case. I mean, if you go back 5 or 10 years ago, there was maybe one thing in the house that was Wi-Fi. Someone may have had a laptop and everything else was hardwired in. But that was before the days of smart devices.
That's right. So now we have, our tablets, our phones, our computers, our light switches, our thermostats, et cetera, et cetera.
Everything. Yeah, the average home probably has at least a dozen Wi-Fi items in their home right now. And I believe the statistic right now is that every 24 months, the number of Wi-Fi devices in the world doubles.
Yeah, so Wi-Fi is very important, and you probably already have several things going on whatever Wi-Fi system you may have at your home currently.
Yeah, and the reason why some things don't work or don't work as nearly as well as they should is that there are two aspects that you want to maintain when you're thinking about your Wi-Fi system. Number one is range, and number two is going to be bandwidth.
Bandwidth. So essentially that equates to speed and how well the units perform as they should, especially if you're streaming music or video.
Yeah, and the ability to handle traffic, because like we said before, it used to be that you had maybe one or two items that were on your network. Now you've got at least a dozen of them if you count everything up.
That's right. So essentially, if you don't have a good Wi-Fi system, you're going to have some issues with some of your devices, no doubt.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of customers that only one room in the house can stream Netflix at a time because their network gets overloaded, or they've got great signal in one part of their house, but as soon as they pass their kitchen, nothing works anymore.
Right, and so what do I mean when I say good Wi-Fi system? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So.
Yeah, like we alluded to earlier, you got bandwidth and also range. And range is always can be a huge issue for people, because typically what people will do is they will get a little tower from their ISP or their internet service provider, whether that be AT&T or Comcast or Charter or whoever, and that tower is your Wi-Fi system. Problem being is that tower wasn't designed to necessarily broadcast to all types of situations that people might have in their homes.
That's right. So it may work all right, but it may not cover your particular home, especially if there's certain kinds of walls or obstacles that Wi-Fi doesn't pass through that well.
Absolutely. If you have an older home that is made with plaster and lath walls, for example, Wi-Fi hates that. If you have a lot of stonework in your house, Wi-Fi doesn't work terribly well with that. Or if you have a large house, because again, you've got to figure that if you're getting this free modem, they're not putting a real hot-rodded Wi-Fi system into it. It's designed to go for an average home that's maybe 12 to 1,500 square feet. And once you exceed that, you're going to have dead spots.
That's right. It's a basic system. It'll probably work all right in some cases, but it probably can't handle larger homes or more, difficult situations.
Absolutely, and that's why we put in multi-point Wi-Fi systems. And here's the basics on that. Instead of having your Wi-Fi broadcast from that singular place in your house where your modem resides, we have what's called a wireless access point, or a WAP, and we put multiples of these throughout the house so that we're broadcasting from multiple points and creating more and more areas of coverage throughout the home.
Okay, and those things can go anywhere, or do they have to be in specific locations?
They can go in almost anywhere, but they work typically best when they're mounted up high. They're up high on a wall or on a ceiling. One of the other cool things about the systems that we sell, at least, is that they mesh network to one another, so they are able to manage traffic in the home. So if I have one of these on one side of my house and another on the other side of my house, if I'm over here, the system knows where I am based on my proximity to the closest WAP. But as I start moving to the other side of the house, it will bump me over and connect me to the closest one, kind of like how cell phone towers work. As you're driving, your phone knows, hey, I used to be here and now I'm here, move me over to the closest cell tower.
Right, and this happens seamlessly, no dropouts. You don't notice it happening. Essentially, it is happening in the background.
Absolutely, it's totally automatic. And Wi-Fi isn't always restricted to just inside your house. A lot of people want to have Wi-Fi out in the backyard.
That's right. So out on the patio, pool area, maybe in your garage, other areas on the property that aren't in the main part of the home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For a good example that we run into all the time is we have a lot of customers that do music streaming. And so in the summertime, they might want to be out in the backyard and be able to control their music systems. Well, we also sell outdoor WAPs as well that can broadcast all over the backyard, or for people who have large properties, this can get you Wi-Fi all over the place instead of just limiting it to being inside the house.
That's right. So you can get coverage out on even several acres of property with these kinds of devices.
Yeah, in fact, we can even go one better than that. We also do industrial and commercial that particularly works well with the people in the agricultural community, where you can do what's called a Wi-Fi bridge, where let's say you have your main office on one part of the property and then half an acre away you might have your shop out there, and you have Wi-Fi here, you have internet here, but you don't have anything there. We can actually beam that Wi-Fi signal all the way across the property, and we can go, I mean, literally acres and acres to do this, which is by far much cheaper than the cost of either trenching a wire or trying to set poles and have a cable that connects the two structures.
That's right. So needless to say, Wi-Fi is critical for most people nowadays, and we have the solutions here to make sure you have a good, robust system.
Yeah, so if you need Wi-Fi solutions, networking solutions, or internet bridge solutions for multiple structures on a property, come see us, Custom TV and Stereo, 1400 Standiford Avenue, number 3.
That's right. We'll take care of you. Thanks.
Thanks for watching.